What's up, Fackers? We are back, hitting you up with our Week 4 waiver wire special. Going to go over all the big names to pick up on waivers this week, who to spend your FAAB on, who to use your waiver priority on, all that good stuff. You're going to notice I'm rocking a New Jersey tonight. My boy, Tyreek. Tyreek out, as Bill would say.
Tyreek out.
Tyreek Hill, I need him to go off tonight on Monday Night Football, and him and Mahomes off to a good start for me. But we'll go ahead and get to those Week 4 waivers. All right, let's start out with some running backs. First name, you've heard it every week that we've done waivers so far. Myles Gaskin continues to get the heavy workload in Miami. We keep saying eventually Jordan Howard and Matt Breida are going to take that over, but I don't think that's going to happen anymore. Myles Gaskin had 22 more carries for 66 yards. Not very efficient, but 5 more catches for 29 yards. 27 touches on the Dolphins. You cannot argue with the opportunity he's getting. Now, it's still the Dolphins, so is he being the most productive he possibly could be with it? No, but you can't ask for much more out of a guy that maybe you could play in your flex.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely worth a stash. They do have some tougher teams coming up, Seattle, San Francisco, and then, Denver might be pretty easy, but they're not going to be playing. Well, he has been usable in just about every game, but I don't know. I'm not liking the Miami offense if they have to run the ball quite a bit.
I'm not like the Miami offense at all.
No, I mean, but if they throw the ball, like you have Fitzpatrick, Preston Williams, Devontae Parker,
Yeah, I
like
guess.
those are guys I would
Fitz
start.
had like 25 last week.
Yeah.
Or this week.
I just wouldn't feel comfortable ever starting Gaskins is my point, but he is worth a stash. If something happens to Jordan Howard or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, what I'll say is this, is you're playing him in your flex with all the injuries that have been going on. Like, buys are about to start. Like, there's worse guys for you to play. And he's showing he's going to get, at least so far, the bulk of the workload. Like, I don't know where Matt Breida is. Is he even... Matt, you're the Breida guy. You got a line to that?
He's just not getting the playing time.
All right. I guess he ain't practicing good enough. No. Jordan Howard is literally just there to carry for the 1-yard touchdowns. That's about it.
There's not going to be many of those to begin with anyways. I mean, out of all these guys we're about to talk about, I think this is the only guy that's probably a must-add, because any guy that's getting 22 carries, you're going to have to add him.
Yeah, this was a very weak week for, no pun intended there, for week. Or I guess that wasn't a pun, but for waiver pickup, so... I did want to see one thing real quick if I can get it.
Well, while you're looking that up, I want to mention real quick, we are live streaming on YouTube, so this is the perfect time to ask questions, and we actually have one. Is Swift worth keeping on a bench this season? Probably not.
Yes. I mean, I would roster him. I think he's worth a dude, because it's going to come down to it. Like, look, they got Peterson just to get him through the first few weeks, I feel like, and then carry on still there. I understand that, but dude, they drafted him early second round, and if Stafford gets back, Galladay's finally back, that offense should be clicking. Like, Swift could be usable. This last game was pretty bad because he did have a few solid weeks, first and second week of like 10 points because he was catching the ball in the backfield. But I did want to say Gaskin had 64% of the offensive snaps, and then Breida was 22%.
Yeah.
So,
would you drop Swift for Gaskin?
Yes, just due to volume.
Okay.
I think Swift has a higher upside because he is dynamic. You're exactly right.
All right, that's enough about Myles Gaskin. We've talked about him every week so far.
True.
If he's like, he probably isn't even still available. I think I saw he was right at about 49% available in leagues. But if he is still out there, grab him this week. He's going to be gone after this week. All right, next guy on the list, out of an injury, Chris Carson got rolled up very end of the game yesterday by a dirty play by that Cowboys lineman.
Douchebag.
Grabbing his leg, twisting at the end. So we know that the backup in Seattle is Carlos Hyde, former 1,000-yard rusher on the Houston Texans. He came into the game, well, he had 4 carries, 12 yards, 1 catch for 11 yards. But you're not concerned with what he did in that game because the game was basically over when Carson went out. You're concerned is that Seattle usually, well, it's kind of a new Seattle this year with how much they're throwing it, but typically they like to run the ball a lot. Carlos Hyde's going to be the guy there. Now, they do have Travis Homer also who will be involved. In fact, I see kind of a split. But if you're talking about goal line carries, it's probably Carlos Hyde. If you're in a bind and maybe you need somebody to plug in the next couple weeks, I could see adding him, but...
Carson owner
maybe, but they're going to continue to throw the ball. Russell Wilson's the best football player in the world right now. So,
dude, yes.
I don't really know how we're feeling
Feel bad
about
for
Heisman.
Carson,
I mean,
too.
Josh
He's having a
Allen.
great year.
Josh
No,
Allen's probably
no,
he's probably second
no.
best. Yeah, I'm not unless I'm a Chris Carson owner. I'm not going to spend any FAAB on him.
Yeah.
That funny, Brit?
A little bit. I just like I was saying, I feel bad for Carson because he was having a hell of a year, and
Well, I think he's going to be back in a week.
Yeah,
or
they just
two.
said he's week to week.
Yeah.
well, you have to look at it like this: they play in Miami, that should be an easy win, and then they play Minnesota, and then they have a bye week. So expect him to come back
Yeah.
Arizona week 7 if that all plays out.
That's true. Hey, nice schedule right there.
Hey, it's the only thing I'm good for.
All right, next team that had some injury issues. They had Mostert go out the week before. They had Tevin Coleman go out. So Jerick McKinnon was the starter this week, but we knew Jeff Wilson was going to get some run. McKinnon ended up getting hurt in the fourth quarter, messed up his ribs a little bit. So Jeff Wilson, 12 carries, 15 yards, and a touchdown. Also 3 catches for 54 yards and a touchdown. Check the status on McKinnon. If McKinnon is out and they're down to nobody, this is going to be all Jeff Wilson on a team that loves to run the ball. He showed this week he might even be worth a flex play regardless if McKinnon's not out. So he's just another one of those guys that maybe a week or two, if you need someone to fill in, there's worse people than Jeff Wilson, as he showed on Sunday.
Yep, 12 carries for 15 yards, but he got a touchdown, and then he had 3 catches for 50 yards and a touchdown.
It's like I just read those.
Yeah, he didn't really look good, but like you said, on a team that's going to run the ball so much, he's definitely worth a flex play, especially if McKinnon's out. Even if McKinnon's in, I could see him getting a goal line.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like
Well,
most
yeah,
of his
that's what
touchdowns
we've
have come
known
from
him
the goal line,
for,
so,
his
yeah.
goal line carries.
Yeah, he stole a lot last year, for sure.
Well, last year there were 2 games back-to-back, 10 carries for 34, 8 for 18, and then 2 touchdowns in both of those games.
Yeah, a lot of short yardage.
Yep.
Trash.
Yes, trash bag, though.
Of course, he was started against me in fantasy and scored 2 late touchdowns. Of course.
Of course.
Of course, yeah. I had McKinnon started against me, so not much better.
Yeah, but at least he was like the starting running back.
True.
Speaking of short yardage trash,
you knew it was coming. You see it every year from the Patriots. You're going to have 5 different running backs throughout the year that lead them in fantasy points. This week it was Rex Burkhead. 6 carries, 49 yards, 2 touchdowns, 7 catches, 49 more yards, and another touchdown. For me, I mean, it's only 13 touches. 3 touchdowns on 13 touches. If you want to stash him on the end of your bench, and if you have 5 guys get hurt and you want to plug him into your flex, okay, but you're not picking him up and playing him. Because just like Sonny Michel was good on Sunday. He had over 100 yards rushing. Damian Harris is going to be back off the IR soon. They got the rookie J.J. Taylor out there. James White was still dealing with the family issue, with the tragedy he had. That's why Burkhead was getting the majority of the catches. He'll be back. So it's like there's so many guys, as always. You're not going to feel very good if you're having to start Rex Burkhead. Now, he paid off this week scoring over 30 points, but that I think I can say pretty confidently that ain't happening again.
Probably not. The only thing that he has going for him is that he was like the short yardage back that scored touchdowns. So they probably trust him now. Like Sonny Michel, I didn't see him on the goal line at all. I don't know if you did. Something funny, something bad might have happened for Ryan. We'll see. Probably not though. But yeah, he's going to get the goal line carries. And Cam Newton didn't steal any of the touchdowns this week, which is good for him. It's just, I was reading off the stats when we were watching Red Zone, and 7 people had a carry in that game for the Patriots.
Is he that far ahead of us?
Yeah, that's insane.
I guess so.
Look, see, this
Maybe
is
he's
why this
last
is going to be
days.
bad on Monday nights when we have people going. You're going through what I went through last Monday.
I can hear Turpin in the other room laughing, and so I don't know what's about to happen. But that was like 30 seconds ago. Surely he's not that far ahead, right? Let's see.
No, he just caught a 13-yard pass. Travis Kelce did. That was it.
There you go. Okay.
Oh, there's Sammy. All right. That's good. He was just laughing at his phone or something. All right. Let's go to the wire. Well, before we wrap up running backs, so Gaskin we're saying should probably already be owned. Out of Hyde, Wilson, and Burkhead, which one of those 3 do you prefer this week?
This week?
Or moving forward, who you picking up out of those 3?
Probably Hyde, just because they're playing Miami.
Like Marshawn Lynch with the hopes that Seahawks sign him? I don't know.
I'd say Hyde also just because he's going to be the starting running back.
For a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, what are these other two guys?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the most value because he's actually going to play probably 2
he
weeks
is a
in a row.
handcuff.
Dude, get up.
Huh?
I said, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. He is a handcuff, and the other two
That's
guys
true.
aren't really.
Hey, and if you go get him, maybe the Carson owner is kind of hurting a little bit and dangle him out like a little carrot and try to get you someone
Like a
else.
little carrot.
Package him.
Or just get him if you're the Carson owner. There you go.
Or do that.
Hopefully you already had him as your handcuff.
Well, hold on. Here, let's go over this real quick. How much FAAB are you spending on him?
Not
If
a
I'm the
lot.
Carson owner,
If you're the
If
Carson,
I'm the Carson owner, I'm probably making sure I'm getting him.
25%.
yeah,
Yeah.
just because I don't see anyone else spending that much.
I got to pay attention
Yeah.
here. We're on the goal line.
All right, well,
Jesus.
I will.
Okay. Wide receivers are next.
He's the host.
This was kind of Britt's boy in the offseason. He was pumping him up. The rookie receiver. We know how rookie receivers usually fare in fantasy. It takes them a little bit to get going. But week 3, the rookie in Minnesota, Justin Jefferson, had 7 catches for 175 yards and a touchdown. We know that the Vikings have had 2 wide receivers in the past that have been productive with Thielen and Diggs. Someone had to step up to take Diggs' place. With Jefferson's coming out party this week, is he finally here to stay, Britt? What do you think?
I don't know if he's here to stay, but I mean, I think he can be that. He has potential to be the number 1 there. Like, I know Thielen's there, but he's 30 years old.
Mahomes passing touchdown. Let's go.
Like I was saying, I mean, he's definitely worth a pickup. I mean, shit, he's number 20 wide receiver in PPR now, just after that one performance. So, and I mean, he had 3 catches and 2 catches the 2 games before. So, I mean, Kirk is looking his way a little bit, but I definitely feel like he's worth an ad.
Especially, I don't know if you said it. I was typing in chat, but you know the schedule coming up.
Yeah,
Texans
Houston,
fan,
Seattle, Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points in those 3 games. Well, against the Texans, but Seattle and Atlanta, those are high-scoring games. You're going to want the receivers going. So I like his upcoming Packers after that.
Lions.
They gave up a lot of passing. Like juicy schedule coming up. Justin Jefferson, maybe.
He might be a must-add, even ahead of Gaskins. Like,
Yeah.
just because of schedule,
Yeah.
and we talk about how rookie wide receivers they start off slow, especially with no preseason. Now he might be getting into the offense some more. Thielen's looking a little bit older, not getting the targets he was. So I'm sad I dropped
Kirk
him after week
Cousins
1.
has kind of looked like shit so far, but
He needs that second wide receiver, though, so maybe he has it now.
He needs that Texans coming up.
Kirk Cousins had -1 points versus Indy last week. I did
Yeah.
not know that. Jesus.
What?
He had 11 completions for 113 yards and 3 picks.
Well, this coming out game. It's coming out.
Sam said he was going to be good, so I don't know. All right, next receiver. Filling in for the injured A.J. Brown. Continues to be productive. Corey Davis, 5 more catches for 69 yards. He didn't catch a touchdown this week, but he did have, if you're PPR, another week, double-digit points. As long as A.J. Brown is out, Corey Davis is a nice little flex, I feel like. Tannehill looks for him. He's looking like, well, still not really looking like the first-round pick that he should have been, but at least he's doing something, you know, which is more than he's done his whole career. So as long as A.J. Brown is out, like, if you need to start him in your flex, I mean, there's worse options.
Yeah, that's the only time you ever start him is if.
But yeah, as soon as
Brown's
A.J.
out.
Brown comes back, like, you could probably just drop him, actually. Don't even keep him on your bench.
I'd probably keep him just because I like to give people a sixth chance.
Okay, yeah.
And that's what you're doing with Corey Davis, so I might keep him on
Who
for
has
1
more,
week.
who has more points at the end of the year, Corey Davis or Justin Jefferson?
Justin Jefferson.
I'm gonna say Justin Jefferson.
And you're going to say keep Corey Davis on
That's because
your
Justin Jefferson's not.
Justin Jefferson might already have more points than Corey Davis just from that one game. Like, Corey Davis was only getting like 10 to 12 points a game when he was catching those touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'm just saying he's been like solid.
I know. I was just trying to make it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Justin Jefferson, real quick, we have a message from Jacob G in chat. Would you drop Darius Slayton or AJ Green for Jefferson? I probably wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't drop them.
No,
Because
I'd
Shepard's
go for someone
out
else.
for the Giants, and Slayton's going to be the guy there. That offense should pick up a little bit better. And then AJ Green, I mean, I still feel like he's the number 1 there. He's getting targeted like it. I know Boyd had out targeted in this game, but I think AJ Green leads him in targets, right?
And that's a great segue into
To
our
our
next waiver wire. T. Higgins, another rookie receiver for the Bengals, stepped up this week, 5 catches, 40 yards, but 2 touchdowns. Joe Burrow looking for that rookie in the red zone. But just like Britt was saying, AJ Green, kick return. AJ Green is still the guy leading in targets. Tyler Boyd is still there. So a lot of options there in Cincy to throw to. But the fact that he got 2 end zone targets, I mean...
That, and I saw a stat today that T. Higgins also ran the most routes out of any receiver for him. So he's definitely getting some play.
AJ Green has the most targets, but man, when I'm watching, he looks old.
He has 28 targets, and then Boyd has 26 on the season.
How many of those has AJ Green caught, though?
True.
That one, he was like 3 for 13.
The thing is, you have to keep him, though. If they're going to drop back Burrow for 50 pass plays a game, there's going to be opportunity there.
And the touchdowns are going to come for AJ Green.
Yeah. I mean, he should have had that one at week 1?
Yeah.
But they called him for the push-off, which he probably did. But T. Higgins, you adding him?
I like Jefferson better, if we're talking there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same. I probably like him more. I like him better than Davis, though.
This is a weak week for waiver pickup, so
week. You can't use that joke twice in one video, Brent.
It's not a joke. It's a week, man.
It is, yeah. There's not much out here.
All right.
Really
we've had this same conversation every week, but we've talked about who is the number 2 behind Devontae Adams in Green Bay. Devontae Adams was scratched yesterday, did not play. Allen Lazard was the guy that stepped up, 6 catches, 146 yards, and a touchdown. If you watched the game last night, the first long catch, he was tripping as he caught the ball, and he fell at about the 2-yard line. Second long play, he caught it for 70 yards and just ran out of steam, was tackled at about the 2-yard line. Now, they did reward him on that first play with the short touchdown, but you're talking this could have been a monster game for Lazard if he finishes off those 2 plays. Yeah, I said it before. I liked MVS more, but I mean Lazard, he was pretty beastly last night. Can't really argue with the stats.
No, MVS he's had too many chances at this point, and he just keeps dropping balls left and right. Lazard's at least proving himself. I think he's solidified the number 2 spot now, but Devontae should be coming back next week. If he doesn't, then they have a bye, and then Devontae for sure is coming back. So.
But even then, Lazard probably worth rostering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The number 2 guy in Green Bay is if he's a solid established number 2, you could play him. It's just the problem has been in the years past, what Britt tried to do last year was pick out the number 2, and it's hard.
Well, I tried to corner the market, and it didn't work.
It was the wrong market.
You cornered the market on a terrible neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's just
do y'all get the feeling this year too, or this year, I'm sorry, that these first 3-4 games maybe, the teams are kind of working all the kinks out, and then because I feel like offenses right now are just going bananas, and defenses aren't able to stop anybody.
Oh, yeah. I feel like the Texans'
do you feel
offense
like
is
in
in
the next
mid-season
month
form.
it'll kind of do up?
Texans' offense, though, is already in mid-season form, just not doing a whole lot.
Sure, good.
True. Bill O'Brien's got him well prepared.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel like the scores right now are just insane.
Yeah, I think you brought up a good point. The defenses just aren't there yet. They're just not in shape or what. But
I'd love to look at what percentage of the overs have hit so far this season. That'd be pretty high.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Bring that up, Jamie. Britt.
What?
What?
You're the producer?
Look, I'm over here typing a chat.
Next player.
I'm the talent.
Okay. Next player, friend of the podcast.
Friend, yes.
I had a beer with him and Tyler, and we talked fantasy football for a couple minutes. All right. But receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles, they're banged up once again. You knew it was coming. Greg Ward stepped up.
Whose house?
U of H. Old Coug quarterback stepping up at receiver for the Eagles. 8 catches, 72 yards, and a touchdown. Deshaun Jackson's still going to be out. Jalen Rager's still going to be out. Dallas Goedert's out now. Maybe Alshon's back. I don't know yet. But basically, right now, it's just Greg Ward and Zach Ertz. He's going to get the majority of the receiver targets like he did at the end of the season last year when he was a productive fantasy wide receiver. So maybe if you're in a bind and you need a receiver, as far as guaranteed to get some targets this coming week, these other guys, I'm not sure about. I know Greg Ward is going to get some targets this week. So,
yeah, I was going to say he probably has the most solid floor out of any of these guys. On the floor might be like 5 points, but
it's a floor.
You'll take 5 points, yeah, if you need that 5 points. How did the Eagles start off with
draft? It's a great argument, Matt, for him.
They drafted all these receivers. You know, everyone was healthy. Ertz was healthy. Goddard was healthy. And then somehow they ended up where they were at the end of last season with Greg Ward and Zach Ertz. That's all they had.
They signed Marquise Goodwin, but he opted out.
Yeah, it's like somehow they went right back to where they were.
But yeah, Greg Ward, do it.
This versus 49ers and Steelers. 49ers, they don't have.
Do not pick him up. Do not roster Greg Ward. I'm sorry. I can't advise this.
Well, we might be rostering him in our 20-team league.
Okay, well, that's different, okay?
Look, they're going to be throwing the ball, okay? They're going to be down in these games versus the Niners and Steelers. And they play Niners, Steelers, Ravens. All right? Those are good defenses, I know that. But they're going to be throwing the ball.
49ers, you shouldn't be afraid of them either.
If you're starting Greg Ward in a 10 or 12-team league, you have bigger problems than fantasy football or something.
True.
Like, this is bad.
He's a decent flex play.
You never know, Britt.
You never know,
All
Britt.
right. Britt, you probably mowed his field.
U of H, yeah.
Maybe.
Britt is a former U of H lawnmower. For those
landscape professional.
And lawnmower. You're not a grounds crew.
I was driving a mower worth more than both of your vehicles combined, so you can suck my ass, okay?
You didn't own it.
Britt, you drive a Nissan Altima.
Now?
You're doxing him, man.
That's like the most popular car in the country.
No, it is not.
It's up there.
Yeah.
All right, last receiver, another rookie. Rookie wide receivers finally coming out for us. Brandon Aiyuk, five catches for 70 yards. Also added 3 carries for 31 yards and a touchdown. They're another team that's been ravaged with injuries. Debo has been out. They didn't really have much after that to begin with. Debo, is he coming back this week? Do we know?
He is in line to practice Wednesday.
All right.
So who knows?
If Debo does not come back, I like Aiyuk there. Even if he does come back, Aiyuk's still going to have a role. He got a couple carries. We know the running back situation, how they've been hurt there.
Very similar to Greg Ward. It's just like he's a guy that shouldn't be playing. Well, actually, he might be playing even if they had all their receivers, but he's basically in there because everyone's hurt.
Let's talk about these guys.
Receivers on the 49ers, to be honest.
Let's try to rank maybe our top 3 looking forward for the season, not just this
season. Okay.
I'm gonna say Jefferson.
Agreed.
Lazard.
Okay.
And
I'm going to throw in... It's between T. Higgins and Greg Ward.
Yeah, I was going to say T. Higgins, but, man, there's just a lot of competition. I know the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be banged up, so maybe I say Greg Ward.
You do. Greg Ward. Book it. He's the third.
But I kind of like Aiyuk, too.
He's the third on week 3
Greg Ward is the third best wide receiver on week 3 waivers.
Week 4 waivers.
Week 4.
But can we all agree that...
Let's
we
be
all
honest
agreeing
here.
that... What?
Pick up Jefferson, okay? He's worth a pickup. I would spend probably 10 to 15% of my FAAB on him, especially if I was hurting a wide receiver. And if I had Devontae Adams, I think I would roster Alan Lazard. I think I'd make it a point to go get him because if this Adams was hurt last year, he's already tweaked his hamstring, right, Matt?
Yeah.
It tweaked his hamstring again. Like, you don't really know. And I mean, Aaron Rodgers is a man on fire this year. Doesn't give a shit. And obviously he has a rapport with Lazard. And Packers defense has not looked good at all. So they might be in some shootouts. So I would, and Lazard could be a flex play. But if Devontae Adams is out, I would plug in Lazard for him.
I'll say this if you're an Adams owner, you might be in the situation Matt was yesterday, where when they play the late game, which Packers play in primetime a lot.
They play Monday night next week.
If you have Lazard, then you can wait on Adams. Matt had to make that decision before Adams got ruled out. Now, he played Gallup, who had a good game, but I know he was worrying about that decision. So if you have Lazard, you can wait up until kickoff and then just plug him in. So that's a good little situation to have.
Very true.
If you own these guys like Adams, Thomas, who's been banged up. Now, Thomas doesn't really have a number 2 like Lazard because I don't know if you're.
It's Alvin Kamara.
You probably
don't know him.
Jesus Christ,
but Devontae Adams is one of those few guys that has had injury issues in the past, and if he is out, Lazard is a guy you can play. So, yeah, it's not a bad strategy.
Let's go to the best name in football.
All right, we got a few tight ends to kind of wrap this up. We mentioned him last week, Mo Ali Cox.
Need Mo Cox.
He had 3 more catches for 50 yards and a touchdown.
Did you say Needmo Cox?
Nemo Cox, man.
3 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. Did Jack Doyle play?
He did.
He did play. Cox is still catching touchdown. It's tight ends. Let's just go ahead all through the tight ends here. We have Dalton Schultz again, 4 catches, 48 yards. Now he didn't have as big a game, obviously, as he did the week before, but he's getting targets on a team that throws the ball a ton, and their defense is terrible. They're going to throw the ball. So Schultz, you could do worse than Dalton Schultz. We know Dak likes to look for his tight ends. And then Jimmy Graham coming back from the dead. When they put old Nick Foles in, he looked for Jimmy Graham. 6 catches, 60 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, saying all that,
which guy?
we have been saying this in the history. We've been doing this. This is our 4th year now that we have done this.
Podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We've said this every time. Once you get past those top tight ends, you're throwing darts. All right, who's going to score the touchdown? So if you're adding these guys, don't get upset when Jimmy Graham and Mo Alley Cox and Dalton Schultz get you 2 points next week. Like, there's a better chance of that happening than they get 15. Probably.
True. Yeah, probably, yeah.
But if you're talking about situations, they're getting targets. Maybe Nick Foles has a rapport with Jimmy Graham. I don't know.
Got 10 targets. I mean, that's worth something.
So out of these 3 guys,
which guy we adding?
Yeah.
Jimmy Graham. Follow the targets.
Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Foles obviously likes him, right?
Yeah, I guess if you need a tight end, but just like I said, though, whatever tight end you have, I would probably just keep rolling him out there because these things cycle. If you had a tight end last week, they didn't do anything, chances are he'll be pretty decent. They just go in cycles. Unless you had Goddard like me, he got hurt. Now, luckily, I still have Noah Fant. I'll play him. But.
Yeah, you're probably going to be streaming most of the time. So, with that said, you want to follow us on Instagram because we live stream every Sunday right before games, and we can help you pick the tight end that's going to win you your league. We would have told you to play Jimmy Graham last week, but you didn't join the live stream. So join the live stream. Also,
we did.
It's worth saying that speaking of tight ends, Jordan Reed is on IR.
I mean, that was pretty predictable.
Yeah, but I just think
one good game and he's done already.
I just think it's.
He's so talented though. You can't argue.
No, but it's just
can't stay healthy.
It's funny. It's not funny, but it's just funny how often it happens.
Yeah.
It's just so predictable.
Okay,
it's
so
like
real quick, let's wrap up the waivers. Myles Gaskin, we already said, should already be owned. So if he's available, pick him up. But after that, is Justin Jefferson our top waiver ad this week?
Oh, hey, we didn't even go over.
Yes.
The what?
For the Cowboys. Cedric Wilson
yeah,
for the
we're not
Cowboys.
going to. There's too many targets there.
He had 7 targets, 5 catches, 107 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
It's the first time he's seen the field, and he's number 4 wide receiver.
Yeah, he had more points than Justin Jefferson, though. But yeah, I'm just, if we're going to.
So Cedric Wilson, like Britt mentioned, 7 targets, 5 catches, 2 touchdowns. But like I said, he's number 4 clearly in the pecking order there. He had his little breakout game. I don't expect him to really do anything else. It's going to be Cooper and Gallup and then CeeDee Lamb and Ezekiel Elliott and Dalton Schultz. Like, I wouldn't roster
Okay,
him.
hold on.
He had a
one
nice
more you
game,
look
though.
up here, just real quick. Hunter Renfrow, because Ruggs, they're saying his injury is a little bit worse than people thought. And Renfrow and Carr have this, like, bromance going on. And, I don't know, Renfrow could be decent because Raiders passing game, if Waller ain't clicking, it's not good.
Renfrow, the star of our 20-team league, he had 20 points this week for us. But yeah, I like Renfrow, especially in a PPR because he gets targets. So yeah, if Renfrow's out there and you're in a PPR and you're in a bind, pick him up. But if we're just talking about which wide receiver we like the best this week, I think it's clearly Justin Jefferson with the potential he has moving forward.
Yeah. Let's end it with this. One more question. Rye Guy 68 asked in the live stream, what do you think of CEH? They're playing right now.
If you're a CEH owner, you want him to play the Texans every week.
True. He hasn't looked good. He's looked okay after the Texans. It's just they're a passing offense.
Yeah, they're just going to throw the ball so much, so it's a little tough.
You're hoping for a lot of touchdowns, which they're definitely going to bring. So still like him the rest of the season.
He's still a top 10 guy for me, just because I think Kansas City's going to be winning a lot, and they're going to be using him. Like, he's always going to be in the game for the Chiefs. He's game script proof, so. And he's on the best offense.
One more question on the stream. We got Hunter Henry or Tyler Higbee rest of season.
Higbee.
Tyler Higbee. He's got the better quarterback. He's getting a ton of looks in that offense. Henry worries me. He always has an injury history. And like I said, he's got Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert throwing the ball. So go with Jared Goff throwing the ball to Tyler Higbee.
Agreed. All right.
All right. Glad you could join us. We'll be back in a couple days with our Week 3 recap, Week 4 preview. We'll do a little something, maybe change up the format a little bit, but we'll be back. Continue to hit us up with your questions. Keep joining the live stream on Sunday mornings. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube. And we out.
We out.